Okay. I am not in the closet. I am upstairs, so if it's absolutely unwatchable or unlistenable, let me know. And I'll head down to the closet, I guess. I think it's going to be short. Um, I, I have not been feeling well. And I think it's a combination of things that um, I just do you ever just like have so much going on in your life, so much going wrong in your life that you're trying to decipher if your mood is because of what's going on or because of your bipolar disorder? That's where I'm at. I have enough going on that I would have every right to be feeling pessimistic and woe is me, and um so I that's where I'm at. The hold on a sec. I'm the series that I of my brother has definitely gotten to me. I don't normally entertain negative um the negative thoughts of the past. I am usually pretty good at those things happen, that was in the past. Let's think of something good that happened. Let's remember the positive. But the nature of the videos that I made, which, by the way, the last one is going to be uploading tonight. I don't usually entertain those thoughts and those feelings and events much at all, ever. Anytime we talk, meaning my family, and any of his friends, we just remember, we just talk. It's not like we think of the negative stuff but only choose to talk about the positive stuff. We actually literally only remember, that's the only thing that takes up space in our head, are the things that make us smile, and the things that make us doubt ourselves and cry aren't we don't talk about those things. We know that we all are thinking or did think at that time, or if you are watching a TV show, anyone that knew him and it was about alcoholism, you'd automatically think of things, you automatically think of him and that, but it's like in and out. It's like, yeah, but remember that time, or remember how Justin was, when he was a kid and he would climb anything, and my mom was pregnant, she had to climb trees, I mean, that's just it. That's just us. That's not repression, it's not unhealthy. That's just us. To go back to the sad parts, it's just not where we go. So it's hard to go there on purpose. I so I have that. I mean, I'm sorry for the blank spots and the silence. It's just the his entire life is really hard to wrap your head around, because you hear about mean drunks and drunks who beat the kids and the wife, and I mean, you hear about bad, awful drunks, and it would be very easy for you to hate them, and it would be very right to be angry at what they put you through. But not all alcoholics are like that. There are people who are just trapped, who have just found themselves trapped, and they can't get out. And it's not that they're not trying. So so that's been really, really hard. And the other thing that I have going on is I know I've mentioned my teeth. Everybody knows how important it is to have teeth, at least the teeth that are exposed. They call it your smile line. Good teeth. And my mom recently had all her teeth removed and got dentures. And she told me that if you can at all swing it, do everything you can to keep your teeth. And I have always been very, I had crooked teeth. I had vampire teeth when I was a teenager. These teeth came down and they were pointy and I looked like a vampire. And my parents asked me if I wanted to get braces, and I leapt on the idea. I was happy to have braces, because I would walk around with my hand over my mouth and I wouldn't smile, and they were so beautiful. And then in my 20s, I started grinding my teeth at night. Well, I would get night guards and just chew them up all my life. So I'm getting night guards. I'm wearing off, still managing to wear down my teeth. And recently, a really weird, I just looked in the mirror one day and I have wear and here. I'm like, well, how does that happen? And the dentist said, you must be doing something during the day. And so my other upset thing is I have been diagnosed by my primary physician with something called essential tremor. For most people, it's a family thing, and I get it from my biological father. He has it, his sisters have it, and my sister, his daughter, has it. And I knew I had my jaw bounces sometimes when I drink, but I started paying close attention, and I actually tap and kind of do this during the day that I wasn't aware of. And so that's how that happened, that during the day I was just popping my sort of, but you couldn't even see it. It was so imperceptible, but you do that over years and years and years. So I have to wear the stupid thing. I don't mind if it's going to help my teeth, but it's a pain in the butt. And I'm trying, and it costs so much. I don't have dental insurance, and I have to have a crown here and a crown here. Each crown costs $1,000. So I'm going into debt over my teeth, because those teeth at any time could crack, and then they won't be salvageable. But then when they saw this down here, teeth being worn, they don't know what to do first. If I start to have teeth that are pulled and is visible, I will not be on YouTube. I'm sorry. It's my one vanity. And it's really a pretty universal thing. People judge you on your teeth immediately, on the very second you meet them. All kinds of things, usually the same things, run through people's heads. And my mom is the same way, so she understands what I mean. And I have to go tomorrow to the dentist because a whole different tooth has decided to be painful. And it's one that's on the bottom and right there. So hopefully I just need a filling. If they're talking root canal, I'm probably going to say pull it, because then it will be covered through the oral surgeon and it'll be covered by my Medicare. So I'm really down about that. And I'm really also have going on is the essential tremor. Like every 3 days, it's worse. It takes me twice as long to do stuff like on the computer now. And I know that you can't see my hand shaking when I'm doing these videos, but well, with my right hand, it's more of an arm jerk. The muscles in my arm have a mind of their own. I will go to make one motion and it just jerks off into a whole different direction. And it's embarrassing in front of people. I don't know if I already told you guys this, but like one time I went to hand a card to a pharmacist, and instead of my hand going straight across to them. It went all the way up and over here, like all on its own. And I had to bring it back to my body and repeat the motion to get it to her. And so typing with these fingers, these muscles aren't coordinating like they should. And the left is the shaky one. The right's more of a spasm, uncooperative muscle group thing going on. So I've got my teeth tapping. I also make, if you ever hear me making a low little grunting noise, repetitive, I have edited video of me and have seen it. I guess that's the diaphragm, like twitching, tremoring. And so, and writing, my arms going everywhere. I'm trying to hold a glass and it's bobbing. It's called an intention tremor. So it really only surfaces when you go to initiate and perform an activity, kind of the smaller things like writing. And I have now had days where my legs muscles are tremoring and I'm unsteady on my feet, and this house is completely filled with stairs. So I there's some other things that are related. My grip in my hands has gotten a lot weaker. I keep dropping stuff. And so doing things that I had taken pleasure in, like making brooms and wands, I have to like do a little and rest and then maybe do some more. Some days are worse than others, but for the most part, I've been so down that I've just given up. And I don't want to do it because because it is so frustrating to hold a wand in this hand and try to put paint or stain with this thing going on. And then the further down I get, it's just like, when I do the brooms, I often am handling power tools, Dremel saw, and when I do staffs, I do a hole in there, so I'm doing the drill. And I really haven't been doing that because it's not safe. And anything that requires, like if I do exercise, the shaking gets worse. If you use your muscle groups, the shaking gets worse. So I go to the neurologist for the first time Friday, and it's like a 2-hour drive, but I don't know if they're going to have any. I've already tried one medication. It was almost worse than being depressed. It was awful. So I don't know what else there is. And really, even now, I probably am considered mild because I can still feed myself and dress myself. But it's progressive. And the treatment, it's not really a treatment. It doesn't do anything to fix it. It just makes it easier for you to do things. you know, and I'm dreading that and mostly women get the neck tremor, which makes their head bob back and forth or side to side. And my two aunts have that. And if I don't know how I would feel about being here if my head is shaking back and forth. I just, so the whole thing is very frustrating. I used to have such beautiful penmanship, and it's all squiggly and but like my dad right now, he can't do much of anything with his hands, and so his wife has to do stuff, and I don't want to get I'm worried because the only person I have in my life that would help me with things if it got that bad and I needed help is my mom, and she's like 20 years older than me. So I don't know. And then I'm thinking I'm going to need two service dogs. I'm going to need one for my bipolar disorder and anxiety, which is Finn, but then I'm going to need another one, a bigger one, so I can be braced on standing up and stuff. So, it's not a life-threatening disorder, but it can make your life a little miserable and embarrassing because some people can't even, there's going to be a point where I can't get the food to my mouth. I already can't drink out of cups and mugs. I have to have a bottle, but I still spill it a lot of times. And but the big ones, like you see me using like this, because I don't know, just the bigger grip, and it's, I know you guys don't want to sit here and listen to me talk about myself, but I am reaching a point in this. And so, and wrapped up all in this is finances. I don't have the income I had from the shelter, but I'm happy to trade that than actually working in a toxic work environment. And I realized how I'm actually healthier mentally, not working and physically. I was just starting to have the symptoms when I left. My hands, I had noticed my hands shaking, and I kept apologizing, and I didn't know why. And I should have made the connection, because they told me when I first met my dad, they all told me, you have to watch out for this thing. It's in our family. It's a dominant thing. And I blew them off because I thought it was my meds. And now here I am, And so those are a few of the things that I have going on. And they're big things. So I noticed lately, though, with my bipolar disorder, I've been having way too much depression. I've not had this many depressive episodes in relative to my highs. I'll have like extremely brief, like a day or two of a high, and then this horrible 1 to 2 week depression. And it's not a little one. It's very depressed. So the next time, which I think is in a month, I might call earlier to say is there anything we can try? um, because I can't get anything done. I don't have, um, and what's weird is I'm going to make a formal review of the light box I got, but I'm just going to throw a little bit in here. I did find that throughout this depression that I'm in now, since before the light box use, every morning, my energy level was nil, nothing, flat. And since I've been using the light box, I still have depressions, but I haven't had, it could be coincidence, but I haven't had the as much brain fog. I'm still able to make decisions. My mind doesn't drift off, and I don't stare at the wall for several minutes blank. And my energy level throughout this depression has been better, even though it's not very good. It's better than the other episodes I'd had. And I have actually been decreasing my caffeine because it makes the tremors worse. So I have to say it might be having an effect. So I have continued to use it since I started. I upped it from 30 minutes to 40 minutes to see if I could get a little more boost. And every morning, and I'm actually able to get things that need to be done. I can set goals for the day and manage them. So that's good. I don't think I'm going to feel much better until it warms up and I can go outside. Right now, here, it is like wind chill -10 or something. It's very cold right now. I walk in the house in a circle. I told my mom that she got her first vaccine. She has to get the second one in about 2 weeks. I did tell her that when you get the second one, because I had been very, very careful about where I went, who I was around. I barely have gone anywhere. I've only gone to the store if we've needed something, and I've been double masking since I've heard about the variants. She doesn't go in anywhere. So I told her when you get the second part, I have to go to the community center. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to walk on the track. I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm going to have both my masks on. I just got to get like an hour walk in every day. It's a big open area. There's really, even when they're busy, there's not many people there. And I doubt any, hopefully it's still open. But I just have to, or I'm going to go insane. that has like been my staple for so long, is walks to get me out of funks. Yeah, this is like a funk. This is more like a funk than a depression. And that's, I think the light box made that difference. So anytime from the time I spent in therapy and the cognitive see, sometimes my tongue is always moving in my mouth, like, and sometimes it doesn't cooperate with what I want to say if I've been talking for a while. This cognitive behavioral therapy that I had a long time ago is still with me. And anytime I find myself listing off all the things that are horrible, my brain automatically goes to, okay, but they're positives. So don't discount those, speak those too. And so I'm going to leave this video with positives. Positives is I got the pink for the most part out of my hair. Now, that's only so I can put a fresh coat of pink on. But it looks very even, very light. I'm very happy with it. So, but I'm thinking I might wait till after my neurology appointment. You know, want to make a good first impression. But then again, I may not wait. I'll probably talk it over with my mom. Thank you. It's a little lighter than I actually have, usually wear my hair when I go. I haven't been to the hairdresser in who knows how long, and I don't think that I ever will again because it costs too much money. And so, and I think these glasses look better with the lighter hair. And these are actually newer. I wear the gold rim glasses when I do videos because I think they look better on me. But I couldn't find gold rim glasses when I went to get some, so I found these. Another positive, I mean, obviously, the obvious ones, we have electricity, we have plumbing, we have heat. The house is paid for. It has a good roof. It has good windows. And sometimes when I do the positives, I automatically slip a negative in it, and you have to like try to not do that because as soon as I said we have heat, and I'm like, yeah, but the basement's really cold and it makes the floor really cold. So you have to like stop yourself from sliding into the following negative statement. Just cut it off. I have fairly nice equipment here. I'm not like decked out with a fancy camera and, but I think with our very first, no, I forgot when, but it was when I got a big chunk of money. I got a nice laptop that should last me a while. And I have a tablet. I have a smartphone. We have internet. A lot of people are having really hard times right now, just paying rent and things like that. And I don't have that problem. So I should be grateful for that. I am grateful for that. Um, our pets are cared for. In fact, I would probably let one of my things go to make sure my pet had everything he needs. And I have my mom, of course, not just as like two incomes are better than, yeah, I worry about that all the time. What happens to me when she's gone and it's just me? She's the only one that really knows my meds, my diagnoses, my doctors, what to watch out for. So I have to cut that off right there. Don't think that that is telling the future, or what's important now. Worrying about the future. Planning for the future, yes. Worrying about the future, no. Let's see. Let me think of it. One more positive. My dog's surgery on his leg. He went to the vet for a different problem, and she checked his leg that he'd had surgery on. He tore ligament, and they use a thick type suture and make a fake ligament. And the trick is for them to get rest and rehab, and at the same time build up their butt muscles. and we're out of the rehab stage, and she said that his musculature back there looks really good. He's using it really well, and she's really pleased. And it's the first time she did that procedure alone. She even did it on her day off so she wouldn't be rushed. So how awesome is that? There are a group of people you should always have a good relationship with. You should always be polite to, and you should always be considerate to. And that is, one, your vet. Like just the simple things like, oh, hi, how are you today? And smile and not be a jerk, can go a long way. Your vet, you're a male person, your waiter or waitress, let's see, any server person, because like a mailman, we would put a gift certificate in the mail for him, and put things in Halloween, put things in the mailbox that were spooky, funny, and they take better care of our packages. You're just gonna get better service just in the little things, saying thank you, I really appreciate that. So I'm just throwing that in there. That's life experience. I think because when I was a nurse, it was explained to us in nursing school that a lot of the patients you take care of are going through a really hard time. Maybe they were just diagnosed with a terminal illness. Maybe they're in pain. And a lot of times the nurse is the only person that's there. And they get the attitude and the result of that. So you can't take it personally. And so whenever I'm encountering somebody, like even at the gas station, if you're really polite and say thank you, have a nice day, it makes a big difference in not just the service you get, but makes their day easier. And that should make you feel good. So those are my positives right now, and they're usually my go-to positives every day when I'm depressed, because it's really hard to come up with different ones. When I'm either in a normal mood or some sort of mania, I can get some really creative gratitude topics, but I have to remind myself of the little things that I should truly be grateful for, especially these days, because there are so many people that are going without. I mean, they're going without internet. They're going without the electricity. They're behind. Their electricity is being turned off. Going to food banks. Nothing wrong with that. I've been to them. Government cheese is awesome. And, I tell you a little story, and I think this is where I'll end it. When I was the manager of the shelter, we had a contract with a dog food, cat food company that we bought their and fed their food exclusively. We would lose the contract if we fed anything else. So when people would donate food to the shelter, it would go to our food bank. And when people needed help feeding their dogs or cats, they could come to the shelter and get some dog food, cat food. And amazingly, nobody abused it. But there was this one man, and on the phone he asked about it, and he was very upset. He was very embarrassed. He said, I've never had to ask for help before. I've never had to do anything like this before. I'm really ashamed having to ask, but I don't have the money. I don't have any food for my dog. And at the time, we didn't have any to give him. So I said, well, if you could stop by in about an hour or so, we just had some donated and we can give it to you. And he was like, okay. And I dashed out the door, went to the store, bought this giant bag of Pedigree food. No, I am not endorsing Pedigree, and they have not given me any money. That just came out of my mouth. And took it back to the shelter in time for him to arrive and me to give it and tell him that it was from our donation pile. I wasn't going to tell him that I bought it, because then he would have been more upset. And when he came in, he was still saying, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe I found myself in this position. I had a good job. I've never, just on and on, like, no problem. Everybody needs a hand now and again. Yeah, that's what we're here for. It would go to waste if we didn't give it away. So, and he left. We never saw him again. He just needed help in that moment, and I wanted him to be able to save face by not saying I actually bought the dog food. So that's the kind of person that animal shelter is missing out on. The person they have as the manager now would never, she would never go out of her way for anybody. So, anyway, I'm going to leave it at that now and go to bed and go to the dentist tomorrow and see what they tell me. Thank you for being here and listening to me. I hope you have a good night. Good night. Okay. Well, I'm going to go before Eric says good night, just because I got to go. Okay, got it.